Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about something a bit different than normal, and that is this rifle and its cartridges and caliber. So let's get straight into it. First of all, the caliber. It's a .223 Remington. It was designed in 1957 as the 222 Remington Special, and what they've done, they got a 222 case and they put a .224 bullet head on it. So when we say .224, we mean the width in inches. It later became the 223 Remington due to the amount of 222s and variations of it. Alright, so we're going to start talking about these two rifle cartridges here. I'm going to talk about this one with the red box. So this is called a Hornady VMAX, and as you can see it has a red bit of plastic at the top of the bullet head there, and that's called a polymer or a ballistic tip. And what that does is when the bullet head strikes the target or animal you're after, it basically acts as a fragmentation grenade, if you could imagine that. No, it sounds a bit deadly, but what it has is there's a plastic tail that runs the whole way through the head, and when the tip strikes the flesh, bone, whatever, it basically makes the bullet expand and shatter, so it causes the maximum amount of damage within the animal, causing a very clean and efficient kill. Next we have our case, you know, the brass bit, that's your bullet case. At the base there, not sure if you can be able to see that, but dead centre, that's called our primer. And that's what the firing pin will strike, and that causes a little chemical reaction like a little spark, and that ignites the nitro powder that's within the case, causing gas pressure to force the bullet out. Second of all, we have the Federal Power Shock 55 grain. As you can see, that's a slightly different tip to the Hornady, sorry, because this is called a soft point bullet head. And what that is when they make the bullet head, they'll get the softer metal, so the lead, and they'll wrap copper around pretty much all of it except the very tip. And when that strikes the target, it expands and causes a mushroom effect, so causing less damage but a heavy shock, so it causes a nice, clean, efficient kill, which is what we want. We don't want injured animals. Once again, we have our brass case, our primer there at the bottom in the centre, and the powder within the cartridge. Typically, the Hornady VMAX bullet head would be used for foxing more, as it has quite a lot of damage. And the soft point you would see more on deer calibers, deer bullet heads rather, as it doesn't cause so much meat damage but still carries a lot of energy. In England we can shoot small deer such as muntjac and Chinese water deer with a caliber higher than .220. So this is a perfect bullet for muntjac and Chinese water deer, and this is the preferred bullet for me personally for foxes. Right, so this is the rifle. This is a Howa model 1500 and it's a custom rifle. So let's start off with the stock. The stock is a Talon or stealth stock. As you can see here, it's a fun hole stock. It's got rubber grips on that rear grip there. It's perfect for when it's a bit wet, bit damp. If you've got gloves on, you can grip really well onto the stock nice and easily. Another thing I would like to talk about on this stock is up here, you probably can't see it, but in this dip, this stock has a spring, pretty much sort of a spring action that's free flowing. It's not like smooth free flowing, it's still quite stiff, but what that does, that absorbs the recoil, which is really nice, really effective, so that you can be on target, bang, reload, and you'll still be on target without too much movement. Got a strap-on cheek piece here, quite nice. You can have your bullets velcroed, cartridges velcroed onto the side there. So let's move a little bit further up. Now we'll talk about the action. So this is a bolt. This is the bolt action rifle. It can move smoothly, nice forward and back. It's smooth, not too rattly, which is alright, so it's fairly practical. So we have a 3-stage safety here. So when it's all the way back, the bolt and the trigger cannot be pulled. When it's one forward, the bolt can be lifted, pulled back, reloaded, but the trigger can't be pulled, and all the way forward means fire. We have a 10 round dropout magazine there, synthetic, quite hard wearing plastic, so it's not going to break. This did used to be inner feeding, so you would load the bullets from the top, but that would be a bit of a nuisance if you had to climb up a seat or anything to unload. You would have to press a button, all the bullets would drop out and they'd drop on the floor. It's a pain in the neck. The scope. What's this scope? So this is a Nico Sterling 4 to 16 by 50 Night Eater. What do those numbers mean? 4 to 16 stands for your zoom magnification. So our lowest is number 4 and we can turn it right up to 16. And the 50 stands for millimeters on the front lens. So it's a perfect low light shooting rifle, very practical. Right, so what do these 3 knobs mean here? You probably can't see the third one because it's this side. So we'll start off with the top one, and that's called our elevation. So not normally on this type of rifle would we change that. The only time we would change that is when we're zeroing. And what it does, it just changes the crosshair on the inside. So if you click it up, it goes up. If you click it down, it goes down. On this side, we have our windage. So when it's windy, you see a lot of long-range sniper rifles, target shooters. The windage, they'll crank that right up to allow and get their target on point. We don't really touch that either in foxing circumstances because we shoot out to a certain distance, slightly further, and we make sure our rifle's zero. But all that does, the windage, is move the crosshair sideways. On this side, you can't see it, but we have something called our parallax. And what that is our sort of focus, really, if you could imagine that, a focus point. It's got all different distances on it, so it ranges from 10 right up to infinite actually, and it just allows you to focus up a bit more on your target, see it a little bit more clearer. Obviously you've got this little plate here that's attached to the rifle, and what we use that for generally is night vision. We use night vision on places where foxes are a little bit lamp shy, they run off, they've been shot at and missed. So night vision is a way of getting on top of them wily foxes. What would happen is we'd have a infrared light that's attached to a screen on the top and a camera that runs and sits on the back of the eyepiece. Our one was custom made. A lot of people do custom make them, I think, still to order, but you get a company called Night Sight. They are a handy bit of kit if you're getting into foxing, they seriously are. Right, so we're going to move on to our barrel now. And as you can see, this is a different type of barrel. Most rifles don't have this. This is a free floating heavyweight barrel. And what does that mean? So free floating means that it does not touch the stock anywhere, and that allows for less interference when it's on a bipod. If your rifle's on a bipod and it hasn't got a free floating barrel, sometimes some rifles they flex a little bit, and if it touches the barrel it can change your bullet's path, change where you're shooting. And the heavyweight is just to make it more accurate, heavier, and it absorbs that bit more recoil. But like I said about the stock, you'll go bang and you'll still be fairly on target without your scope going everywhere and you losing your target. Finally, we have our moderator. A sound moderator or suppressor, some people call it. It is not a silencer. It does not silence the sound of the bullet. It's a sound moderator. This is a Wildcat Predator 8. They still make them. They're very, very good moderators. As you can see, this one actually sits over the barrel by about, I think it's about 4 inches there, and sits out the rest. Quite nice. Once again, it's got some weight to it, so it adds to that weight, a little bit more recoil. All in all, this is a very nice rifle. What are the pros? Well, the pros are, because it's synthetic, it's quite hard wearing. You can throw it about a little bit, it doesn't matter that it gets scratched or knocked. The weight is quite nice, it's steady, it's nice, relaxed, you can be there and you'll be smooth as anything. What are the cons? The weight is a con on its own. You can't walk around with it too much. After a few hours of walking around, you'll start to get tired, you'll get arm ache, you'll get backache. This is more of a sitting about in a high seat, or sitting on the back of the truck, sitting on the bonnet, sitting waiting for your foxes. Not overly for deer stalking, but that's not what we got it for. We got it for foxing purely. So this has been the rifle cartridge video. I'm expecting to do a few more, maybe on some shotguns, maybe some more rifles. Please let me know down below what you would like to see on the channel. Please let me know if you have any tips for me or you learned anything from this video as well. This has been Country Boy on Cam. Thank you very much.